night. Just what did you see from him, not just on the offensive side of the ball, but also defensively as well?
He's really impressed me. I thought that the energy changed when he came in the game. You know, like it wasn't that the energy was bad, it just wasn't Boogie energy. And when he comes in the game, everything changes. Like his ability to pick up and keep his guy in front of him. He's fearless, crashing the boards. I love the fact that he's not afraid to shoot the basketball. It's not pump fake. He's already thinking shot. Then he's getting down, and just a good teammate. Like it's a pleasure to coach him, and he brought the energy tonight, and we really needed it.
And then team.
You might just put the water down. I just don't want
You know, representing.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Team defense. You held the Spurs to like 22% from the field. Just what did you see on that side of the basketball, and what you like that team put together?
Well, you know, we're trying to shift the floor and make sure that behind the ball handler on the left and on the right, they're seeing a crowd. Then, you know, at the rim, Joe was fantastic protecting the low man. You know, he's there. Like, we want to be seen. We don't want to be late. We don't want two-way stunts. We want to make sure that we're there early, ahead of the play, reading everything, communicating loud. Like, I showed them a clip at the beginning of training camp, and it was, you know, turn the volume up, and it's like real live 25, 30,000 people, and you can still hear them. Like, that's the type of communication we're looking for. And when you do all those little things, each one of them adds up and they mean something. And those guys have been trying to play the right way. And, you know, like, everything is sometimes guys miss shots, but when you start getting percentages like that, it also speaks to what you're doing. And I appreciate the fact, you know, we want on a closeout, we want to close out with a stick hand. We want to touch and trace the ball. Like, we want to be there and we want them to feel us. And I thought they did tonight.
Looking at the kind of the good and the bad here in these first two games, I mean, this one I imagine probably gives you a little bit of a true sample size. Just how do you look at some of the guys that you might have a little bit more of a focus on and seeing where they're at as kind of time goes on here the next week or two?
You know, I would say I saw, and I know I understand what you're saying, like as we continue on, and that's what I told them in there, part of what you do when you're playing against a higher level and the competition continues to go up. You have to make sure that you are doing all the little things. I thought I saw a lot of pump fake, one-step drives as opposed to being ready to shoot the basketball. Like, that's truly important. And as we go forward, I tell them a shot created must be taken, because normally bad things happen after you've created a shot for somebody and you pump fake and you put it on the floor. Someone's out of position, the rebounder was there, now they're out of position. All those little things from those guys, they have to be on point when, you know, starting in our next game and going through to Las Vegas.
Doug, you guys have one more game here Tuesday and then Wednesday down in San Francisco. What's the plan for that game as far as the two rosters and you know, what do you take this team over there? Do you put them together? Like, how are you guys going to handle that?
My wrist was just vibrating, and it was Paul, and so he was probably going to tell me that. So you caught me a little early. I think that will be defined probably after this, but nothing changes for us. It doesn't matter who we have. This is a style of basketball that we want to play, and you know, the more talent you have, the better it gets. But it doesn't matter. Whoever we walk out of this locker room with on the 9th, they are going to play that style of basketball. In your face, get after you, share the basketball, something that Kings fans can be proud of.
You guys want to just read us the text?
Well, he was calling me, so I had to answer. He didn't text me. I looked, but he was actually ringing my phone. Yeah.
Couple for you. The first one, Colby, back-to-back games where he hasn't necessarily shot the ball super well, but he's getting assists, he's getting rebounds, 3 steals tonight. As someone who's trying to secure a spot with the main roster or build up to an NBA career, how valuable is it to have someone like that who has the ability to affect the game outside of just scoring the basketball?
Yeah, you know, with Colby and Keon, similar as Keon's gone through his journey, you know, the more things that you can do on the floor, the greater chance you have at the coach leaving you in the game. So if you can shoot threes and that's all you can do, if a really good defender takes you away, then I might have to sit you down. But if you can put the ball on the floor and get downhill, if you can get assists, if you can D up, if as a bigger guard you can go in and grab rebounds, like all those things, and he can do all of those things. So when I look at this, I don't say, Kobe was 3 for 10, he didn't play a good game. Where I look at that and I say, you only shot 2 threes, I need 8. That's what I want from him. I want you to catch the ball and shoot the ball and do everything else that you do. And it's interesting because Keon was kind of in that position the last couple years, and he's learned how to take that step. And it's good that they're together because hopefully Keon pays that information forward, because that's the responsibility of an older player, is to take a guy under your wing and share that information with him. So watching them work, they both put in all their work. But coming out of a game and shooting 2 threes for him, that's the part that I'm going to look at. Everything else, he was great.
I've watched you a couple times on the sidelines over the last couple of nights, sub a player out and then pull him aside and have some words with him.
Mm-hmm.
From your standpoint, getting this opportunity to coach, how much are you enjoying teaching at this level, and how receptive are these guys to the things that you and your staff are teaching them?
First of all, the staff is tremendous. Like, we have guest coaches, every part, like everyone is like on point, and I love it. That for me is probably the most fun, is similar to what I just said about Keon, is me trying to pay that information of 15 years in the NBA and a lifetime in basketball and pain and all the things that you go through. It's like you're walking around the corner and I'm like, yeah, I'm telling you, around the corner, it's something going on. This group listens at a really high level. I know that that's not gonna happen for every group. I was a hard-headed kid, so I didn't always listen. And then as you get your bumps and bruises and you begin to learn and you get a coach that you like and you trust them, and all of a sudden that information comes to life. And that's ultimately what I try to do with them, is, have them trust me, know that I got their back, and the information that I'm giving you is from my heart.
Yeah. Mike and then Brendan and then Peter.
Doug, you were talking about it doesn't matter who it is, the player has to fit your guys' style. Isaiah Crawford seems like he could be that kind of fit. The way he's bounced back from the 2 injuries, what have you seen from him?
First of all, I just like the way he's built long arms. He's not scared, fearless, gets after it. Like, I tell him something and I see him try to do it. Like, that's high level, because when you're on the stage and you try to fix it, that's tough, because the guy across from you does not have good intentions. In practice it's different, but he's been really good. I'm gonna like watching his evolution as a young player, and what he tries to go through as he tries to make that next step to the big club, because he has all the pieces. The same thing for Isaac Jones. I really like what I see out of those 2 guys. They've really been good, and it's going to be interesting to watch them as we go forward.
You're clearly preaching a lot of defense, and in this format, obviously you don't get to scout as much as you maybe would throughout the course of the season. So what do you emphasize to these guys to make an impact there?
Well, to be honest with you, in our first game, Jimmy, who's one of our assistant coaches, he went and found film on China. One of our guest coaches, Mate, called up some people, and then Coach Brown's son, Elijah, had the personnel for this one, and he did a spectacular job delivering before the team. So, we still try to find it, but if we want to, in my opinion, if we want to take that next step, we got to take the face off the opponent. We got to do what we do, and you got to do it at a really high level. And you're gonna get your butt whooped some nights, and the person that's across from you, if they're a really high level, that's part of what we do. I would play against levels of players, and then I'd play against levels of players, and some of the things I did against him didn't work against him, and I need a little bit of help. That's the nature of the game. But what you do is, we have some staples that are non-negotiable, and as long as you do those, as a coach, I just hug you up and say good job.
Thanks, everybody.